Let me just see what this bike can do a bit. Yeah, it easily pulls away. Good morning and welcome back to Vanner's View and the brother series. Of course, I'm doing this series with my brother Emil. And if things are looking a bit unfamiliar this morning, you are completely correct, because for the first time ever I'm doing a ride on Vanner's View which is not on my CRF 300 rally. Emil is on the rally this morning and I am on the CFMoto 450 MT. So we decided this morning we can switch a bit so that I can get a feeling of how this bike rides. Yeah, what a great few rides we have had over the past few days. This is already our 4th day of riding and we are departing here from the beautiful Pendoornkraal Farm here in the Cederberg, and we are now going to find our way to Clanwilliam. Welcome back to the series. Yeah, for the first time ever I'm doing a ride that I'm not doing solo. I'm doing it with my twin brother Emil. He stays in the Transkei, so on the far east coast of South Africa, so he's not familiar with the Western Cape and the Western Cape Road. So I'm taking him on all the familiar roads, and many of these roads I featured of course before on Vanner's View, but the difference is I'm not doing it alone. Today I'm doing it, or this series I'm doing it with Emil, and we have rented this motorcycle for him, this CFMoto 450 MT. Yeah, what great service we got there from Motorrad Rentals in Pardon Island. Lourens has been looking after us. They set up this bike for Emil, even put on brand new tires. So if you are looking to rent a bike in Cape Town, they especially cater for the overseas market. They've got a few of these CFMotos, but they also have a much larger fleet of all sizes of BMW GS's, so they are really geared to set up a bike for you for any adventure you can think of going on. So please consider renting a bike there if you want to do a ride. But yeah, just to reflect, we stayed here at beautiful Pendoornkraal Farm. Mia Hunter is our host there, and she actually helped me out because we were looking for accommodation and she didn't have places available in that she usually rents out, and she said, no, come, you can stay with me in one of my private flatlets, and we had an absolute joy of a time. It was great staying there. Thank you so much, Mia. We appreciate your hospitality, and you just made this experience even better than we could have hoped it to be, so thank you so much. I will put the details of Pendoornkraal Farm in the video description. If you ever want to stay in a beautiful place here in the Cederberg, please consider Pendoornkraal Farm. It's very close to Algeria campsite actually. It's here at the foot of the Nieuwoud's Pass. Yeah, now this bike I can already feel it's got smooth power. Of course it's a 450, whereas the CRF 300 Rally is a 300, so I expect it to have significantly better power. So this is a more an adventure bike that is set up for both dirt roads and of course tar roads, and I will test it a bit. So this first stretch of road that we're going to do on the trip today is going to take us from Pendoornkraal Farm to Clanwilliam, and I'm going to take the route that runs all along the Clanwilliam Dam, and that will be dirt roads all the way to Clanwilliam. Yeah, and then the plan for the rest of the day is it will take us from Clanwilliam to Graafwater towards the west coast. We will pass by the town of Leipoldtville and then descend down to Verlorenvlei and go and make a pop in there in beautiful Elands Bay. We are first taking this bit of a bumpy road to just get down to the river, the Olifantsrivier River, to take the road to Clanwilliam. We've done more than 1,000 kilometers on this series already. We started, what is it now, 4 days ago there in Cape Town, and took the roads all through the Tankwa-Karoo. First Katbakkies Pass, Skittery Pass, and then all the way around to Sutherland, down Oberg Pass, and then up Gannage Pass, and then Middelpos, Calvinia, Lourensfontein, and yesterday we came down the Cederberg. Rode the beautiful road through the Bido Valley and Wuppertal. We had some of the roughest roads. Emil was, I think he's not going to make the turn. We need to turn here now. So let's go this side. So that is of course the Chronicles bridge down there, which gets flooded very easily during winter. So I've never ridden this little dirt road that should take us to Clanwilliam, but it should meet up with the Clanwilliam Dam at some point. I'm just figuring out this motorcycle. It's got a beautiful display here on showing you all kinds of information. Quite a sophisticated computer, I'm not used to it. The Honda CRF 300 Rally is basic, doesn't have all the features of this bike. But so far this is feeling great. What a beautiful morning here in the Cederberg. It is now, what is it, just after I think 20 past 7 or half past 7, so we're making a relatively early start. This route is actually providing us with excellent views. Down to the Olifantsrivier down below. This is beautiful scenery. Now, this river of course is prone to flooding during winter. Today is the 21st of March, so we're still towards the end of the dry season in the Western Cape. But here from May, June the rain will start, and then the most rain is in winter, July, August. You can expect this river to come down very, very strongly. Now this 450 MT certainly has a beautiful purr to its engine. It is a dual cylinder, so you expect a bit of a smoother sound from the engine. It's not like the single cylinder Honda CRF 300 Rally. It sounds beautiful. It feels like there's a promise of a bit of power. I will take it a bit faster once we get onto tar road later. For now it is just a casual ride, relaxed ride. I can immediately feel that the suspension on this bike is a bit tighter than on the 300 Rally, but that is not surprising to me because the CRF 300 Rally is known for having a bit of a softer suspension, so many people do an upgrade on the suspension of the CRF Rally to just stiffen it up a bit. Now I have not considered doing that yet. Firstly, it's quite expensive to do, and I must say I have not felt the need for it. I actually like the little bit of softer suspension of the Rally. Just allows for quite a smooth ride. So my immediate comparison with this one is the Rally feels a little bit smoother through the rougher parts on a dirt road that is a bit bumpy like this. But I can also understand that if you want to use the Rally more for off-road, where you really go on trails where things get really rough, that a stiffer suspension will probably be a bit more convenient. But I don't think I will do that soon. The views are just fantastic this morning. I've never done this road. This is really a beautiful little road. So I can recommend it. If you want an alternative route to Clanwilliam, if you come from Citrusdal on the N7, maybe turn off the N7 a bit and just follow the Olifants River a bit more closely for beautiful views and definitely a more relaxed ride or drive on this little dirt road. as always, you can be sure to find details of the route that we are doing in the video description. I will definitely include a link to a Google Maps route that you can simply copy and paste this link into a browser, and you will see exactly the route that we took today. And it's the same with all trips. I mean, any trip that I've done, all trips I've done on Vandersview and all series, you will always find a link to the exact route. So just go and have a look, and if you want to ride parts of this route, you will easily find the directions there. Because I know sometimes it looks like we are taking turns left and right. It will be very difficult to try and figure out exactly where we ride. Oh, look at how the cliffs come up on this side. This is magnificent. Beautiful, you know. Yeah, this little route is a revelation, yeah. This camera is a bit, I cannot get it quite fixed. I think this one bracket is a bit stripped. I cannot make it tighter. I will have to find a replacement. I have it in a bag somewhere, but I will have to dig a bit. So maybe if I make a bit of a longer stop, I will replace that bracket a bit. Even a bit of a cave in here. Maybe just a little bit more. I don't know all the specs of the 450 MT, the CFMoto. I think you can find that easily enough by an internet search, but I will just share a few impressions, of course, today of my experience, and just the only thing I can really do is to compare it directly to the rally. And as I already mentioned, a little bit stiffer suspension is immediately obvious. Yeah, the promise of power in the throttle, definitely. I mean, the CRF 300 Rally is certainly not a powerful bike, so this you can feel. But what I do know about the CFMoto, it's got quite a well designed electronic system that can track your routes and so on. I'm not even sure how it works, but that you certainly have. And then the things that come standard that I know is that you have an adjustable suspension, which I think is interesting. So I think sometimes if you buy a bike and you want to adjust suspension, that is something that you have to spend some money on. But on the CFMoto, it comes standard, and you can just apparently do it. And then also it's got this little windscreen here in front, which is easily adjustable in height. You just have these levers on the side that you can turn. It also has a bar here in the front where you can mount, say, an additional GPS or your phone or so. So yeah, looks very convenient. I'm not sure about the size of the fuel tank, but apparently it does have a range of about 400 kilometers, so that gives you quite some proper distance, so you don't have to worry about filling up all the time. Yeah, it's also got a 6-speed gearbox, so it's also the same as the Rally. You have 6 gears to work with in riding this bike. I can immediately see, of course, it runs at much lower revolutions than the Rally. Suppose it's the 2 cylinders that allows you to just operate at lower overall revolutions while you're riding. Yeah, and it gives me the first opportunity ever to just ride alongside my own bike. What a beautiful bike the Honda CRF Rally is, huh? In my very much subjective and biased opinion. But that bike has simply proved itself. I love it. I've done all previous series and trips on the CRF Rally. This camera is just shaking a bit now because the road is particularly bumpy. The washboard. It seems like we're gonna cross the river now. Is it? Are we going to cross? I'm not sure. I don't have the GPS in front of me, but there is a bridge here in front. indeed, we are crossing. I know we're going to pass the Clanwilliam Dam on the right hand side, so we will probably then have to cross the river again. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, the road is crossing over there now. No, this is great. Yeah. No, this road allows you to have a proper view on this river. Now we're backing up on ourselves all the way now because we came through that lane of palms there in the distance. Now, it must have taken some significant effort to build this road. Yep, the camera has dropped off again. This is now really getting irritating. Problem is, it damages the camera. As long as the lens didn't get damaged, it should be okay. It looks okay. Yeah, no, it's still looking good. I will have to do something about these brackets. This is really irritating. I hope Emil will now turn around because my extra brackets and so on are in the bag, the back. Let me just wait for him to return. Die kamera het weer afgebreek. Die brackets is patheties. Die kamera daar in die pad geval. Maar hy is daarom hy het daarom nie skade gekry. Gelukkig is dit 'n bietjie meer sanderig hierso. So ek moet nou eers my sakkie weer uithaal daar agter en dit regmaak.
Nou kom ek terug, ek sien julle nou kyk bly ek hier af. Jy nie mis nie.
So Emil thought I fell maybe off the side and he's not seeing me. No, luckily it was only the camera that fell off, Emil. It's not myself that fell off. Or myself and the bike falling off the road. Yeah. Okay, let me just fix up this bracket. Now, I said it before, if anybody can help me with proper brackets, GoPro brackets or DJI brackets that will not break, I will highly appreciate any recommendation. Please help me. This is now probably the 5th time that I'm losing a camera by brackets that's breaking, and I simply cannot find proper brackets. And in my mind, I would like things that's made of steel or metal that I can really fix, that it will not break, because I cannot afford expensive cameras like this to roll in the dirt road after it breaks off from from the bike while I'm riding. That is just ridiculous. Surely there must be some of you out there that's doing motor vlogging that have solved this problem. I really would like to have your advice. I will make contact with you. Just let me know, even in the comments, or if you just want to send me a message, please write me an email to wernersview@gmail.com. My email details is also in the description of my channel. Please make contact. I will highly appreciate it. Yeah, the bougainvillea is growing lushly here. All kinds of colors, white, pink, maroon, beautiful. Yeah, now we are climbing up quite a bit, so from here we will have beautiful views, or should have here in front, over the Clanwilliam Dam. Now this CFMoto 450 MT, yeah, I can just feel effortless up the hills. Ah, there you can see the dam now, in all its glory. Yeah, so this Clanwilliam Dam was already built in 1935, and it has a capacity of 122,000 cubic meters, so it's quite a sizable dam and an important dam in the Western Cape, and I'm sure it's also being used for irrigation purposes. And there's now an ongoing effort for quite a few years already to increase the height of the dam wall by something like 13 meters. So this will bring the level of the dam quite high, and I don't know what the capacity will then be, but then it will have much bigger capacity, but I have no idea how far that project is. But certainly a very important water reservoir for this area. Yeah, so this is the town of Clanwilliam. Now Clanwilliam, it's got an old history. This is one of the 10 oldest towns in South Africa. It was already established in 1725 when it was not known as Clanwilliam. It was known as Valley. So as you can see, the Dutch name, because it was before the British came in the 1720s or 1725. But then later, after the British took over the Cape Colony, the name was changed in 1814 by Sir John Cradock. He changed it to the name Clanwilliam in honor of his father-in-law, who was the Earl of Clanwilliam. So that is where the name comes from. But certainly it's got a history that goes back then since the early 1700s, and yeah, it's got something like 7 national monuments in the center of town, which includes the old jail as well as 1820 settler homes. Yeah. Now Clanwilliam is also then renowned for the capital of rooibos tea production. So this is what you will see in this area, the rooibos tea capital of South Africa, and also the Clanwilliam cedar. The tree is then what the whole Cederberg Mountains range has been named after. So yeah, quite a number of connections here with the town. And of course some famous people lived in Clanwilliam. That includes C. Louis Leipold as well as Tolla van der Merwe. Yeah, so now we are getting to the center of town, and I just wanted to have a look. There is the old Dutch Reformed Church in Clanwilliam, which is also known as the Flower Church. This is a famous church, so let's just make a bit of a stop here in front of the church to have a look. Yeah, so this church was already built in 1864, and it has been designed by the famous architect Carl Otto Hager. So 1864 is quite old, and it is not used as a church anymore. The Dutch Reformed Church is now in another building. But what makes this church very famous is that this is the so-called Flower Church, or the Blomkerk, where every year in August there is an exhibition in this church of all the diverse wildflowers and beautiful flowers that you get in this area is on display here. But this is a very historic site, because even though the church was built in 1864, the graveyard and the graves surrounding this church actually predates it by some time, and there are some graves of 1820 settlers that you also will find here. And I find this fascinating, this old history of Clanwilliam. So let's just take a leisurely ride through the beautiful main road of Clanwilliam. Rooibos tea. You're looking for rooibos tea, this is your place. Clanwilliam Hotel. There's another beautiful stone church. Not sure which church that is, but yeah, beautiful. It looks very old. Hey, hoe gaan het? Okay, ready to go. So Emil's got the GPS on the CRF 300 Rally, so he will guide us out of Clanwilliam. Seeing a bit of traffic now. I'm still getting more used to this bike. Yeah, so we are departing now here from the historic town of Clanwilliam, and we're now going to start making our way west to the west coast of South Africa. So the first stop on our route now is the town of Graafwater. Now, I've never been to Graafwater, but this should be a tar road, and it gives me a bit of an opportunity to just feel what this CFMoto 450 MT, how it performs on tar and a little bit higher speeds. Yeah, so this is a tar road, and yeah, even 120 kilometers per hour, so one can definitely ride a bit faster on this road. Yeah, just cruising at an easy 90, between 90 and 95 kilometers an hour. And let me just see what this bike can do a bit. Yeah, it easily pulls away. Yeah, so it clears 120 quite easily, and you can cruise quite nicely. Yeah. And it feels like there's certainly more power in this throttle. This is of course where the major advantage of this bike with the 300 rally comes in. The 300 rally is more comfortable around 100. You push it to 120, it's not so comfortable, the engine is struggling a bit, but this one just easily pulls away at those speeds. So even in 6th gear on the incline. Emil is keeping it between 100 110. Easy cruising on the CRF 300 rally, but not faster than this really. Yeah, I think Graafwater is a very small town. It's also not a very old town, or so old than like the other towns in the area. So Graafwater was established in 1910. We've now made the turn into Leipoldtville. The shortest route to Elands Bay is of course now via Leipoldtville. Yeah, we've made it now to the small town of Leipoldtville. We just need to cross the R365 here. I already spoke about C. Louis Leipold, and you might be mistaken to think that this town is named after C. Louis Leipold. But no, it is actually named after his father, who was a minister in Leipoldtville. But yeah, Leipoldtville and Graafwater, and later we will cross the town of Redlinghuis, all form part of the core here in the Sandveld area. So it is a sandy area, but it's called the Sandveld, and it is one of the major potato producing areas in South Africa. Here is the shop in Leipoldtville. We're first going to make a stop here because Emil and myself, we will be changing bikes, so let's make a stop here in the shade. It is just an absolutely beautiful day. There's not a breath of wind, and the birds are so active. You'll probably hear it quite well on this microphone. This is such a tranquil spot. But yeah, we parked the bikes here and I had a very good ride on the CFMoto 450 MT now. And I just want to show you a little bit more close up what the bike looks like. So the CRF 300 Rally and the CFMoto now brought us safely to Leipoldtville. So yeah, you can see it's quite a, to me it feels like a relatively big bike. I mean, if you just view it from the top, it has got quite a broad, petrol tank and fairings and so on. And then it's got this adjustable windshield in the front. You can see it's easily, you can take it up and down a bit as you want to. Yeah, you can almost not see through it. It's a bit dirty. And then it's got a very nice display here that you probably already saw while I was riding it. And yeah, you can see it gives all kinds of trip information, and you can set different things. It even gives the temperature on the engine. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful display. And yeah, if you look at just what it apparently comes standard with is this protective bars, and it goes right down to the bottom, so it really protects the bike, I think, very well. It also, I don't think it comes, not sure whether it comes with the pannier. I don't think it comes with the pannier racks, but it certainly comes with this protective bars going all around here in the front. Yeah, it just gives it a bit of a robust look. I think, it protects the bike quite well. And I think the one distinctive feature of this bike is the split in the front lights. You can see it quite easily on the road, so it's easy to spot the CFMoto. Yeah, so this just gives you a bit of a sense what this engine area looks like. Yeah, I think overall a solid bike. I really enjoyed it. On the open road, it is definitely significantly superior to the CRF 300 Rally. It easily gets up to speed. It maintains its speed. 120, you keep it in 6th gear, and if it opens the throttle, it simply goes. Whereas the CRF 300 Rally, you still need to gear down a bit when there's a bit of an incline. So I think for a dual purpose adventure bike, I find the CFMoto a perfect balance. I really enjoyed it. So Emil, we're going to swap back now. Okay. But you said you enjoyed the ride on the CRF 300 Rally.
Yes, very nice.
Because you can also compare. I mean, it is a bit weaker on the tar, but you also got it now, rode it a bit on the dirt roads.
Yes, sure. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so this was quite an enjoyable experience for me to now get onto the CFMoto 450 MT. But we will now change bikes again, so let's go on and get to Elands Bay.